Great day, great day, great day, everyone. I want to welcome you guys to You Can Mindshift broadcast. I broadcast here live Monday through Wednesday. Hey, Robin. And I broadcast here live Monday through Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And hey, Marissa, I'm trying to see who else is on the line on the broadcast. I've had a really involved day today, and I'm really excited about being here tonight because, hey, Akita, I'm so glad that you guys are on the broadcast tonight. As you may know, I'm Gwen Davis-Yancey, attorney and Mindshift strategist. I provide you with tools to shift your mind so you can stop being stuck from having all those difficult situations that have occurred in your life, so you can increase your focus, increase your motivation, increase your confidence, and increase your decision-making power. Because it's all about you being able to live your best life yet. That's my goal, and that's my goal for you, to live your best life yet. Hey, Kim, hey, I'm so glad that you're on the broadcast. And we've been really moving forward with being able to control your mind. Hey, Brandy. And tonight we're going to talk about emotions, your emotions. And, many times we feel like we don't have control over our emotions. That is absolutely not true. And so we're going to start a 3-part series about your emotions. And as you probably know, if you've been on the broadcast with me in the past, I like to start the first part about understanding. Because when you can understand something, then you can change it. Because it's extremely difficult, if not impossible, to change something that you don't understand. And I really want you to have power over your emotions, power over your mind, because that is how you mind shift. That is how you stop from being stuck. That is how you move forward. Because sometimes you don't even realize that you're stuck until maybe you go back. If you keep a journal, maybe you go back and you read something, or maybe you have experienced a situation and you realize, hey, I experienced this before. And then you can begin to realize that you're actually being stuck in a particular way of thinking and not progressing the way that you want to progress. So we're going to get involved with these emotions, and we're going to get deep into the emotions this week because, hey, Stephanie, because I really want you to be able to have control over your emotions. So tonight we're going to talk about what your emotions are, and then we're going to go over your 6 basic emotions, because we all have 6 basic emotions. So first of all, I like to do definitions. So the definition of emotions is it's a natural, instinctive state of mind, and it derives from what your circumstances are, your mood, and your relationships with others. And I'm going to repeat that definition. A natural, instinctive state of mind deriving from one's circumstances, mood, or relationships with others. So when you look at that and you hear that definition, it lets you know that your emotions are connected to what you've seen, what you've heard, what you've been taught, and what you have experienced. And if you were on the broadcast last week, we had the 3-part series about understanding your mind. And when we talked about the 3 levels of your mind, your unconscious mind, your subconscious mind, and your conscious mind, we talked about that your mind has everything that's in your mind is related to what you've seen, what you've heard, what you've been taught, and what you've experienced. So there is a direct connection to how you exhibit your emotions to those experiences that you've had. That's why, the the special program that I have coming up about discover and ditch your not good enough mindsets. That's why it's so important, because when you can begin to identify those mindsets that are holding you back, that are stopping you from progressing or thinking in the way that you need to think, because you can't be in your comfort zone. I know we hear it all the time, but there is absolutely no way for you to stay in your comfort zone and progress. It's just no way. And based on what we talked about last week, your mind wants to keep you in that box. Your mind wants to keep you repeating the same behaviors. Your mind wants to keep you making the same types of decisions as you've always done. And that keeps you in your comfort zone. Your comfort zone is not going to take you to the millionaire status. Your comfort zone is not going to take you to that new promotion. Your comfort zone is not going to move your business to where you want it to be. Your comfort zone is not going to help you identify the types of friendships, the types of boyfriend-girlfriend type relationships, the person that you need to marry. That comfort zone is going to allow you to think in a progressive manner. And when you can think in a progressive manner, you can make the kinds of powerful decisions that you need to make. So with these emotions, I'm going to talk about the 6 basic emotions. And, you can write these down if you want to write these down, because, and we'll talk about, I'll review them again tonight, and we're going to talk about them even more later on this week. Hey, Stephanie. Hey, Shawana. I'm so glad that you guys are on the broadcast. I hope I got everybody so far. You have 6 basic emotions: fear, anger, sadness, joy, disgust, and surprise. So your 6 basic emotions are fear, anger, sadness, joy, disgust, and surprise. And it's real important for you to kind of understand these emotions and how they are expressed. So we'll start with surprise. The emotion of surprise is actually a reaction to something that is unexpected, something that is new, something that may seem strange. And it's interesting because there are actually physiological reactions to each one of these emotions. And with surprise, you're going to see a decrease in your heart rate. You're going to see an increase in your muscular tone. Your breathing is going to get deeper, typically. Your pitch may go up, and the subject could actually have some spontaneous vocalizations. In other words, you might spontaneously say something that you may not typically say when it comes to surprise. So these emotions are affiliated and connected with your behaviors, and it even has physiological effects. And what about disgust? Disgust is a sensation of something, repulsive, or you want to avoid something. And it actually has physiological responses as well. Disgust can cause your heart rate to increase. Disgust can cause your breathing rate to increase and also tense up your muscles. So again, you've got emotions that are connected to behavior, and these emotions are also connected to your physiology, how you physically respond. Fear. We all have bouts of fear. Fear is a negative emotion. It causes kind of an adverse effect, even though fear is interesting, because fear can actually boost some people, and fear can actually stall some people. With fear, you can get an increase in your heart rate. You can get an increase in your breathing. And fear is the emotion that activates your fight or flight mechanism. Do you have to get ready to fight to protect yourself? Or are you going to get ready to run to protect yourself? So fear has a very important, it's a very important emotion. And technically they all are, but fear is a very important emotion and can affect you in different ways. What about happiness? Happiness or joy? Happiness is considered the most positive emotion. We directly associate happiness with pleasure and joy. That's why some lists consider it happiness as one of the basic emotions, and some lists can call it joy. But it's interesting because happiness is one of the bodily systems that moves us to action. When you're happy, it's going to increase your desire to move forward. It's going to increase your desire to focus and have motivation and confidence. That's why I say this platform, this what I'm doing is all about helping you, empowering you to live your best life yet. Because when you can live your best life yet, then you're going to have levels of happiness. You're going to have levels of joy. And that's going to progress you. That's going to promote you. So happiness is a very important emotion as well. And then there's sadness. Sadness is considered the most negative emotion, and it causes a decline in mood. Most of us have had times of sadness. But the interesting thing is, if you notice, some of these emotions are opposites. Because if we didn't have bouts of sadness, we wouldn't know what happiness is like. We wouldn't know that there's a difference. So with sadness can affect your body and, kind of make you try to avoid things. And then the last one is anger. Most of us, if not all of us, we're very familiar with anger. And anger arises out of frustration. We're frustrated about something. We're frustrated about a person. We're frustrated about a situation, and we can get angry. It can be something like a family member, said they were going to do something. They're going to help you do something, and they didn't show up. You can be frustrated. You can be angry. Or it can be a situation where you're driving to work and somebody cuts you off. And that's a different kind of anger. But all of these emotions affect us different, even affect us physiologically. That's why I wanted to point out how these emotions affect us in our body. And I wanted to mention with anger causes an increase in adrenaline. That's why sometimes you really have to be in control when something is frustrating to you, because when that adrenaline, you get an adrenaline rush, then there's a physiological urge to react. But you can control your emotions, you can control your mind, you can control even how your body responds. And it's really important. That's why, you have people, hey, Alyssa, you have people that, like I gave that example with someone cuts you off on the expressway. You're driving and someone cuts you off. There are people, as you've heard, that literally follow someone and confront that person. And next thing you know, there's a deadly situation, a deadly result. Somebody else is going to respond. Maybe they respond and say something with the through the window of the driver's side, or put their finger up or something like that. But each one is a different response and a different intensity. And some people just don't really respond at all, because if that anger causes a high level of adrenaline, now you have to work harder to control your mind, to control your body, and to control your emotions, because now your body is trying to give you a surge. And so that's why it's really important. And that's why I wanted to go over some of these physiological changes so that you can understand the connection of what is going on when you have activated any of your emotions. So remember, your emotions are connected to your behaviors. They have developed based on what you've seen, what you've heard, what you've been taught, and what you've experienced. So there's habits that are affiliated and connected with each and every one of your emotions. That's why you're going to exhibit your emotions completely different from the way I'm going to exhibit my emotions. Just like in that example of somebody cutting you off while you're driving. Everybody's going to respond differently. From that one person who follows the person to confront them to another person who just ignores it. And then the people in between who maybe, puts their finger up or hollers something out of the window but keeps driving. So those six basic emotions where we talked about the fear, anger, sadness, disgust, joy, and surprise, those emotions, those six basic emotions are part of who you are and have been developed as a result of what your experiences are. So when you connect with that, when you begin to understand, when you kind of peel the layers off so that you can understand why you think the way that you think, why your emotions are activated, and your responses, your emotional responses are the way that they are, then you can begin to shift. Then you can be able to make some changes. Then you can be able to accomplish those goals that you want to accomplish. And even before that, you can set up the goals and the action steps that you need to accomplish those goals. And so I want to make sure, hopefully you tune in tomorrow. We're going to go a step further as we talk about emotions this week. And I'm going to be sure to put the link in again about signing up for the Discover and Ditch those not good enough mindsets, because most of us have had them and most of us have to still battle a little bit with them. So whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, and if you're struggling with that and you're not getting the movement that you've wanted or that you can get, make sure you sign up for it. I have a launch price of $47. That launch investment is only going to be effective for a couple of weeks. I'm going to post the deadline, and once that deadline is over, then it's going to automatically go up to $97. And even that is a great launch price, but I really wanted to, since we just opened up Mindshift Academy, I wanted to give everyone a chance to get going with some of these learning tools so that you can be ready for 2019. Because 2019, we say it, 2017, 2018, 2019. You say it, but do you really mean it? And if you mean it, what are you doing about it? And that's the bottom line. So I'm Gwen Davis-Yancey, attorney and Mindshift strategist. And as many times as you've heard me say, your mind is extremely powerful and you have power over your mind. You can mind shift and live your best life yet. Thank you so much for being on the broadcast. I will see you all tomorrow at 8 p.m. right here in the Facebook group, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you guys have an absolutely fantastic evening. Talk to you tomorrow.